the bells were for Christmas Day. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not actually drunk. You might be thinking, Calum, how irresponsible of you! Why do you have 2 bottles of wine? Firstly, I have been enjoying this wine in the past. Secondly, this bottle, I've used this entire bottle to make mulled wine. As of right now, let's see. I am uploading a video about mulled wine. I'll need to check how that's doing, actually. Maybe I shouldn't have. How is that coming along, actually? Okay, that's almost there, right? Right. I made a video about about me making mulled wine, and I thought I'd upload that. So now that this party is getting started, I just thought I'd might as well finish off this wine and then just recycle like the glass later. I probably shouldn't have done that because it's quite late at night. But there's so little of it left, I might as well just have it now. Don't worry, I am a responsible citizen. Scout's honor. Anyway, let's do the traditional thing and then just share out this live stream to anyone who's just joining us. Please feel free to type in the comments. We can get started with the party, the Christmas party. And by X17 Logic, I think we could sing a few songs, albeit they're copyrighted. Right. All right, I'm just going to start inviting people. Feel free to join if you want to. Okay. So copy that. And then we're going to go to, all right. Hello, Wilder Diaz. Hello. yeah, of course you'd be up here because you live in America, and that's the kind of place where, in your part of the world, you're usually up at this kind of time. This is where you're at your party kind of mood. So mind me, Wilder Diaz. Feel free to get the party started by typing in something, and whilst I just attempt to invite more people in. Everyone, because it's Christmas. All right. Okay. Copy that, and then let's put this in this server. And then we'll inform the people on this server. I'm just going through the different people that I get in contact with via Discord. That seems to be a great way of reaching out to vast amounts of people. Okay, and then put that here. Put her there, some people would say. Looking forward to Christmas? Come on, you know you are. Type it up in the comments if you know you are. Yeah? You know? Got a lot to discuss. And I think this... Oh. Sorry, friends just sent me something. I'll... Wink. I did not know the winky face. What are you doing? All right. Are you excited about Christmas and New Year? Absolutely, especially given everything that I've been through. I feel more morally obligated to celebrate Christmas more than ever, which makes me happy. Which makes me very happy. What am I going? And what might you want? Sorry, another friend's getting in contact with me. A book. Oh, I did get the wiki face uploaded after all. That might be. Right, back to this, back to getting people in. Right, I'll be right with you. Right. Okay, and then let's see. Ideas. Right, let's see. In case anyone still cares about this server. All right, I think that should do the trick. Something. All right, let's get this party started. We're just gonna get started by talking about the current state of Japan versus Hollywood. Why do I say Japan versus Hollywood? Because I've noticed that, I mean, in general, especially in the past recent years, the storytelling talents of Japan are very much showing. Japan has this immense way of telling stories in a way that Hollywood seems to lack sometimes. Japan has this way of telling the stories in which they prioritize telling a story first with compelling characters and amazing imagination, with themes that will be relevant for self-improvement, as opposed to an agenda. Hollywood sadly seems to be leaning more towards shoving things down your throat rather than telling a genuinely good story. And now there seems to be this whole culture war going on between Japan and Hollywood about how this agenda-fueled storytelling could infect Japan. But after that, the creator of Gundam is taking a stand and saying, nah, we don't want our industry to become bland and in its consumerist nature, like modern Disney. You got to have some real artistry, real craftsmanship, people who actually care about genuinely telling a good story rather than just making a product. And that's the thing that Japan should be facing right now. But of course, knowing Japan, I think they're smart enough to realize, no, we're not going to let these other kinds of storytelling ruin our culture, ruin our way of storytelling. Our way of storytelling works, so we're just going to keep doing what we do best: tell good stories. And speaking of telling good stories, like, it's not just the anime industry that seems to be making good stories as of late. Look what I watched recently. Boom! That's right, Godzilla -1. At first I thought, why on earth is this called Godzilla -1? It seemed like such an odd title. I remember going out of the cinema after seeing the film, and a friend was trying to phone me, and I said, "What did you see?" And I saw Godzilla -1. I could hear him on the other end just say, -1! And I said to him, yeah, I have no idea why it's called that either. I mean, it's a very odd title. I thought meant to be like the defeat of Godzilla, like Godzilla minus a Godzilla. I mean, it might make sense. Spoilers. Hold on a minute. I'll be right back. All right, back to what I was doing. All right, so oh yes, Godzilla -1. The reason why Godzilla -1 is called Godzilla -1 is apparently because it's meant to thematically represent the desperate situation Japan had at the time See, this film was created because it's the 70th anniversary of the Godzilla franchise. And something I've noticed is that this particular year, 2023, is not the only anniversary year. This seems to be a big anniversary year. This seems to be like the 20th anniversary of the Return of the King movie adaptation. You know, one of the greatest films ever made that points to like divine virtues, even if with its flaws. This year also has the 100. This year is also the 180th anniversary of A Christmas Carol, the story about Scrooge getting haunted by his former partner, only to then have like 3 angels protect him, and basically guide him on the right course. And then this is also the 20th anniversary of the Elf film, so there's a fun Christmas film. And this is also the 25th anniversary of The Prince of Egypt, one of my favorite movies ever made. I mean, animation has the potential for divine art, man. I mean, The Prince of Egypt is it. And although 1998, all the films that came out in 1998 have their 25th anniversary this year, as have I, because I'm currently 25. All right. So what else is this the anniversary of? I'm getting sorry to get off topic almost. This is also, there's a lot of anniversaries going on this year, basically. So I'm talking to a friend as I'm doing this, which is probably not the best thing to do. All right. What's your favorite Christmas movie? Oh, my favorite Christmas movie. That's a good question. I've grown to like the one that's simply called A Nativity Story in recent years. My top favorite Christmas movie. I also quite like Arthur Christmas. Arthur Christmas is one of my top favorite Christmas films ever made. It's such a geniusly creative premise, and they surround this interesting debate between old and new technology within it. And I was watching it recently, and there's so many intricate details in that film that you'll probably miss the first time watching. It's great, but there's even like a painting at some point which is meant to visually represent the state of the character, and I didn't even notice at the time. Elf, that's a classic. My mom likes Nativity with an exclamation mark, the first one. I was beginning to introduce myself to the Bishop's Wife, which I've yet to fully watch. In terms of Christmas Carol adaptations, I've seen the Alistair Sim version. That's a really good version. I actually like the Jim Carrey version. I've yet to see the George C. Scott version. So there you go. That's a taste of the kind of Christmas films I like. It's a Wonderful Life. That's another Christmas classic. All this stuff about like the miraculous interfering with the goodwill for men. So anyway, going back on topic. So it's the 70th anniversary of Godzilla. The Godzilla film. It's the reason why it's called -1 is because it represents the desperation that Japan felt at the time. This particular film of Godzilla, more so than the other adaptations of Godzilla, emphasizes much more the human element of the situation that the film depicts, which is why Godzilla -1 is getting so much positive attention lately. I mean, if this were just any other Godzilla film, like people would think, okay, but the fact that there's so much relatable humanity that you actually care about and you actually want to see survive to the end, that's what makes this film compelling. The Godzilla monster was originally conceived of because it was meant to reflect the fears of nuclear warfare within Japan at the time. It was represented by this fictional monster, which is basically a lizard that gets exposed to nuclear energy and becomes this giant creature that stomps around cities and causes havoc. And so you get the similar premise here, except there's far less emphasis on the origins of Godzilla, and presumably, as well as less techno babble from scientists and some dramatic stuff like that. And it focuses much more on just human beings like you and me, who were living in Japan at the time of the 1940s, and just learning to strive and just learning to aspire for more and to move on from their past mistakes. It's really inspiring stuff. That Godzilla film is absolutely inspirational stuff. I would highly recommend that Godzilla -1 film. It's probably one of the best films of this year. In fact, the Godzilla -1 film is doing so exceedingly well. It is humiliating many of the other Hollywood products, especially Disney's Wish, which I'm going to have a rant about later, because lately I found out that there was some kind of concept that the creators of Wish were going to do, but they didn't commit to it. And it ticks me off so much. But with Godzilla -1, there's with Godzilla -1, you have all these relatable characters. The pilot who's trying to atone for his past mistakes, and it could be argued that even if he did try to shoot down Godzilla, probably would have had little to no effect. But Godzilla was fairly small, so he probably would have had the chance. But he froze up in fear. But he's willing to make up for it, and the people really do try to find clever scientific methods to try to outwit and defeat Godzilla. A seemingly impossible task, but they managed to find a way to do it, and it's really inspiring stuff. I mean, this is really impressive, especially for a low-budget film. You can really feel, for a low-budget film, you can really feel the practicality of Godzilla's presence and footsteps. And there's some bits where you think, that was low budget, but you're so engrossed in the story that it almost doesn't really matter. So here's modern Hollywood fixating so much on the spectacle of the visuals, but they have less focus on the relatability of the stories. You see, this is exactly why Japan... Oh, hi, Brooks. I'm just talking about Godzilla -1. I actually saw the film a few days ago, and you also went to see Godzilla -1. I didn't tell you this before, but hey, better late than never, I guess. I went to see Godzilla -1, and it was really awesome. Jojo. Jojo so far. Me and Brooks have been watching Jojo's Bizarre Adventure. I might as well talk about Joe. We've been watching Stardust Crusaders. We've managed to get through part 1 of Stardust Crusaders. It's such a crazy show. Just when you think the premise couldn't get crazier, it gets crazier. Like, have you ever wanted to see a show where there's an evil pervert orangutan, and I've seen where people fight a car and an old man screaming, "Oh no!" so many times, as well as some guy who could do a cherry trick with his tongue, as well as this new power system that just comes completely out of the blue, and so many other weird, crazy details. Voila! You got your show. Godzilla -1 ending kind of ruined, though. I could see why, because it was such a great build-up, and the ending can leave kind of mixed results. I mean, I can buy into the fact that the soldier deserved to live, because that way it brings a full character arc and him actually finding hope. And I thought, that's satisfying. But then we find out that his girlfriend, who should not have survived that specific event with Godzilla, she somehow survives. And the moment they brought up the letter, and I thought, no, she couldn't have survived. She couldn't have. But to be fair, she has a few like plasters like on her eye and on her arm. So I thought, okay, she has plasters. At least she has plasters. So she didn't get out completely unscathed. So at least that's credible. And maybe there's like a slight chance of survival, but I think the makeup department should have added much, but she's infected. Oh yeah, the nuclear energy. Oh yeah, they don't really go into that too much. Maybe they like cleaned her up. Did you see the? Oh, was that a hidden detail? Oh gosh, I need to see that film again then. Further support for Japan. Hey, I did not notice that. I did not notice. That's gonna be interesting. And Godzilla Godzilla regenerating. How's Godzilla? It might not be the same Godzilla because the soldier used the kamikaze plane to blow up the nape and brain of Godzilla. Sequel, yes. So chances are, I think the old Godzilla is dead, and so this mutation is growing from the body of Godzilla, and then this new mutation abomination is gonna like come about, like a parasite, like a xenomorph chest burster or something. Standalone would have been much better. Yeah, it's a little iffy because the wife clearly should not have survived that situation. But I suppose it's not the worst ending because at least it does further add to the soldier's character arc of finding hope again. Again, the reason why this film works so much is that human element and just how well these characters are so developed. That's something Japan seems to understand really well compared to Hollywood. But Top Gun Maverick, yeah, you got to consider the fact that Japan nowadays, as far as I'm aware, isn't too big when it comes to live action films. Oh, they are dominating the animation industry just with anime, with all their streaming services, all the quality stuff they're creating. But live action films, you don't really see much of live acting. I mean, you get like live action adaptations of stuff like Your Lie in April, Death Note, other stuff like that. Check out Letterboxd review. I did read your Letterboxd review, unless you've made a new one. Hold on, just for you, my friend. I'm just gonna. I was intending to make a Letterboxd review for Godzilla -1, but for some reason didn't get the time to do that. The Boy and the Heron. Oh yeah, The Boy and the Heron. That's right. That's another thing. The Boy and the Heron is also dominating the box office. The Boy and the Heron and Godzilla -1 are completely dominating the Hollywood competition right now. Seriously, it makes recent Hollywood efforts look embarrassing by comparison. I see you managed to have a review for Die Hard 2, which you were watching the other night. Yippee-ki-yay! Right, another gun too. Alright, that seems alright. Let's see. Okay, let's go to. Okay, I might as well do this whilst I'm passing the time. Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho. It's that enthusiastic quotation and just how dryly Alan Rickman says it. Yes. Didn't I do this before? I think I read this review previously. Yeah. You did review The Boy and the Heron. That it was rather spontaneous at times, but still a great film from Miyazaki. Still a great film, though. Absolutely. You also reviewed Godzilla -1 at some point. You saw Die Hard for the first time. Yes! After all these years, I finally saw Die Hard for the first time. The first Die Hard film. And yeah, I can see why it's a classic. I mean, it revolutionized action movies. for so many people. It launched so many careers. It revolutionized action films, and it still holds up with its practical effects and just the performances of Bruce Willis, his wife, and Alan Rickman. Die Hard 2, Jingle All the Way, National Lampoon Christmas. Oh yeah, Brooks was also showing me some other Christmas films which I'd never seen until this year. Saw Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger, the film where he goes, "Put that cookie down now." It's a crazy film in a very fun way. I suppose psychologically speaking, it kind of delves into the importance of heroic role models and how Arnold goes. Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger clearly has a character like named Harold, but let's be honest, you're just gonna call him Arnold. He goes to this character arc where he goes from not being too fond of Turbo Man to literally becoming Turbo Man. You gotta love the fact that he has a literal jetpack and a literal like disc flying thing, and like, why hasn't the military picked this stuff up yet? Like a horror movie. The horror of getting your cookies eaten as you're trying to shop for Turbo Man, and then you find out you become Turbo Man. Get to the jetpack! Oh my days. Turned into a toy forever. What is this? Like one of those scenes from Toy Story? Now I'm just imagining Arnold Schwarzenegger voicing Woody or something. I don't want to play with you anymore. No! Don't do it! Don't close the bin lid! Five. No! To infinity and beyond! Hold on, I'm speaking to somebody else on the web. I've yet to. Okay, back to this. Right. Turbo Man in Toy Story was the Arnold. That's the twist. Right. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, it's a fun, crazy film, and it's the kind of film where I just look at it and I think, if the crowd is that hectic and competitive and aggressive during Christmas, how much worse is Black Friday for them? What else have I been watching? I've been watching National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Christmas Vacation. Fun fact, I've been told some animator from Fern Gully animated the sequence, the introduction sequence of that film. I've never got introduced to National Lampoon as far as I'm aware. I think it's one of those groups like the Carry On series or something like that. But I can see why Brooks really likes this particular film, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. It's pretty much just an American family vacation, but it's a comedy, so things are going to go completely wrong. I think the funniest bit in that film for me was the scene where the FBI just come crashing in. It's one of those films where anything that can go wrong will go wrong. But it's Christmas at the end of the day, so chin up, son. Anyway, so going back to the topic at hand, it's Merry Christmas. Japan is absolutely wiping the floor with Hollywood at the moment. In fact, my friend Brooks made a video meme, if copyright is allowed, a video meme of Godzilla -1, like wiping out all of modern Disney. Clark's boss must be protected. Yeah, there's a yeah. Oh man, there's a scene in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation where you can tell the husband and wife have such loyalty to each other, where if the FBI comes in, the wife's first priority is to protect her husband's privates. They must have a really good sex life. Got no copyright stuff in the meeting. Okay, good. Yes! 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 We finally got her, boys! Yes! 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 We finally got her in the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. We finally got Malika Ganji on here. We finally got Malika right. After all the hype, after all... Brooks, this is my friend Malika Right. Say hi to her. Say hi. Do it. This is my gun. Do it. Say hi to her. Straight face. Hi. Oh, hi, Mal. Anyway, Brooks, my friend Malika Ganji, I've told you about her multiple times. She runs the Malika Rights channel. She does a lot of analysis. Hey, a lot of analyses on books. She also does film reviews. What makes her channel stand out is her constant analysis on specific themes of literary stuff, such as masculinity and femininity, psychological themes. She's a big fan of Berserk, so that'll be right up your alley, Brooks. And she talks about other like timeless, beautiful concepts. Anyway, Hollywood did make a strong comeback with Blue-Eyed Samurai. Yeah, I've been hearing about that. In fact, the Critical Drinkers recently made a video recommending it. I've yet to see it, but I've heard a lot of good stuff about it. It's beautiful animation. Would be nice if our Discord server had girls. You know what? Malika has a Discord account. Maybe we should invite her into the Squid Bear server at some point. In fact, maybe I should do it whilst we're on topic. Maybe. Don't worry, Brooks. Malika's described herself as quite the tomboy. I'm sure she'd get along just fine. Okay, how do I invite people? Let's see. I'd be honored. Excellent. Let's see. Come on. I'm doing this. I could easily just do this on the computer, but hey ho, it is what it is. There we go. Inviting that. Okay. Your administrator. Okay, I've sent the invitation to Malika. I'll let her do what she does. I'm the administrator. Yeah, I just clicked invite. Well, pressed in this case. Invite a friend, and Malika should be with us any moment, I think. Anyway, administrator. So Blue-Eyed Samurai. I have yet to see it, but I've heard nothing but good stuff about it. I mean, I like me some good Samurai Jack and animations that take themselves seriously, because, you know, animation's just one of those things where it's an artwork and there's many artworks in motion and you just gotta keep making them. And Blue-Eyed Samurai, the premise is that there's this woman of Drinker talked about it. Yes. Some woman of like half white, half Japanese. And she wants to gain vengeance on people, so she pulls off a Mulan and disguises herself as a man, particularly a Japanese man, because she wants to hide her European tainted blue eyes with these Vash the Stampede style sunglasses. Where on earth did she get the sunglasses during that period? I mean, I've yet to see it, but from what I've seen, it looks awesome. Joke Jotaro. Jotaro. Like Jotaro. Now I'm just imagining Jotaro with like Joker makeup. Yeah, I'd be very curious to have Blue-Eyed Samurai. The only thing that would complete this now if AA was in here was our Discord name. I should have invited her already. Hold on a minute. I've got Discord up here. I should have been using this in the first place. I'm pretty sure I invite. Maybe she's yet to log back in or something. I'm the administrator. Show member list. She must be getting in by now. Sorry, everybody. We're interrupting this in exchange for this. Hold that thought. We are trying to get someone into a certain place. Please. Right. All right. I think the easiest way to invite. I'm pretty sure I invited her, right? Why am I even talking about this? I've joined. Oh, okay, she's joined. Okay, never mind. All right. Feel free to say hello to the boys, everybody. Introduce yourself, and I'm sure everybody will be a-okay. So on the server, Malika, we've been having our movie nights. Brooks has been showing me some Christmas films for the first time. For the first time, I've watched Die Hard, Jingle All the Way, and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation for the first time this year. All right. Yeah. And there's other topics right here. Brooks is quite a passionate storytelling guy, and you probably would have noticed him on my channel. So I frequently collaborate with Brooks, so it's good to have you on board. So feel free to say hello. Anyway, going back to the topic at hand, Japan versus Hollywood. So for the most part, Hollywood seems to be not doing so well. However, the very few Hollywood stuff that actually works seems to legitimately work. It's, I suppose, if your main focus is just tell a good story with compelling characters and timeless themes, you'll get your audience, guaranteed. If you're just going to make something for the sake of being a product, it's going to be forgotten over time, either instantly or over time. So there's no point in just trying to appeal to... Sorry, it's the way... Brooks... I'm laughing right now because Brooks is saying, we have a girl here. And now my mind is going to that one scene from Inside Out. Oh my days. I need to focus. I need to focus. Okay. I can't focus. Japan versus Hollywood. There's been many highlights this year. Many animated works of art made by Hollywood of all places. We've had the Super Mario Brothers movie by Illumination, and Illumination Studios, of all people, is making a stand against AI, which seems strange because you'd think Illumination, being as consumer-friendly as they are, would also want to embrace AI, but no, they're taking a stand. Well, I guess Universal Studios is more based than we think. I've heard DreamWorks is having a bit of a hiccup with their animation processes, but I've enjoyed Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken. I know that severely underperformed, but I enjoyed it. It was a fun film. I need to get around to watching it myself. They have standards. Don't worry. Hands off. We have standards, gentlemen. Oh, where are my manners? Right. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas and stuff like that. Please like, subscribe, share. I need attention. I need... They have Illumination. Oh, you're talking about Illumination. Illumination does have standards, and clearly, Illumination's got a lot of critical flack for stuff like The Lorax and some of their other films in the past, but they make some really funny films when they genuinely work. Like, I really enjoyed Despicable Me 2, especially. That's a really funny film. And my friend Smudge really likes the Sing movies, surprisingly enough. And the Super Mario Brothers movie, it's a love letter to the Nintendo fans and anyone who's ever grown up playing the Mario and or Donkey Kong games. Oh my days. Me, my sister, her husband, and my friend Sam were just loving it. And Jack Black as Bowser, that's just pitch perfect. And the song, that is just comedy gold. I still find myself singing in my head, peaches, 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 peaches. It's just so funny. Other animated works of art. Even though Puss in Boots: The Last Wish came out in 2022, my friend Brooks would agree that Puss in Boots: The Last Wish was absolutely dominating 2023. The Lorax was hilarious, especially that one scene where the mayor sings to convince everyone to kill a scene. Nah, I say let it die, let it die, let it die, let it shrivel up. And... Come on, who's with me, huh?
Nobody.
You great dirtbag. Jack Horner from Puss in Boots: The Last Wish has a similar vibe to that jerk mayor from the Lorax. I guess the reason why so many people gave a criticism for the Lorax, as well intentioned as it was because the message of the Lorax was not so well handled. My sister and I sing that all the time. Let it grow, let it grow. Wait, the let it grow part or the let it die part? That must be like a reoccurring joke between the two of you. Just let it die whenever you see something that you don't like across the street. Just go, let it die, let it die. Something political. Let it die, let it die. Let it shrivel that way. Anyway, there's let it die part. Called it. I called it. Oh my days! I tell you, animation can have divine aspiration, you know. So with Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, Jack Horner is a similar character vibe to the mayor. Even though Puss in Boots: The Last Wish was a 2022 film, it gained a lot of attention on the internet during 2023. In fact, just as I was setting up my Christmas tree, I showed Puss in Boots: The Last Wish to my sister and her husband for the first time. My brother-in-law does not do too well with movies for reasons, but he absolutely loved the film, gave it a 10 out of 10. Illy too absolutely loved it. So it just goes to show that with The Last Wish, as well as The Bad Guys, the Super Mario Brothers movie, Universal's just on a roll right now. What other animated products from Hollywood that came out this year that was really good? I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, the Once Upon a Studio short that came out on Disney Plus. That was actually really sweet. And if you want a proper 100th anniversary celebration of Disney, go watch Once Upon a Studio. I guarantee you, it'll get you smiling and stuff like that. The last was really good. Ah, yes, yes, Billy, you saw it. Yes, she saw it. She saw it. Yes. Last Wish was really good. Death freaked me out. My dad asked what I would do if I was chased by death. I'd say I'd pass out. There's no way I'm trying to run. Yeah, that character's awesome. That me and Brooks constantly obsess about that character. It's really impressive how a film can remain PG and have a character that's arguably scarier than Pennywise the Clown. Honestly, that's the kind of character I'd love to cosplay if I get the chance. Just get myself a grey poncho, maybe it's like contact lenses. The other mother from Caroline freaked me out more than death. That's true. That's true. I mean, I think what makes the Death Wolf so powerful as an antagonist, I genuinely believe that it can be very moral to, you know, portray the villain in a way that points to moral virtues. I'll explain that another time. But I mean, if the protagonist of the film was like some other like godlike being, then death wouldn't really pose much of a threat. But here's the thing: the point of the film is that Puss has wasted his 8 lives, and so Puss is on the edge. So this character actually has a threat. Like this is like how Mrs. Brisby from The Secret of Nim was trying to adjust to a scary world around her, or like if Optimus Prime actually had a legit challenge or something like that. It's really important that you watch The Last Wish from beginning to end just to get the full grasp of how freaky the death character is. Because when you watch the start, you see how confident in himself Puss is. And, you know, with a big musical number, some visual hints, if you're paying attention, as well as just how coordinated, how clean, how stylish Puss is. And then Puss, for as arrogant as he is, Puss earns that confidence that he has. Never been touched. Yeah, never been touched by a blade. Question, maybe he must have shaved himself. He's talking about combat primarily. My sister pointed out a few details that I never noticed, but I'll get into that later. This has turned into a talk about Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Yeah, who cares? I love the movie, and so does Brooks. With Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, Puss earns his confidence when we see him take out the giant with maneuvers that could make Levi Ackerman blush, to put it bluntly. So by the time Puss first encounters the Death Wolf, you think, okay, well, Puss has every right to feel confident in the moment because he's been through the motions before. As far as he's able to put together this, in his mind, it's just another bounty hunter. He'll take care of him, no problem. Like, DreamWorks has made an entire TV show about the adventures of Puss in Boots, and even a show of Three Diablos. So by now you think, okay, yeah, Puss is an experienced hero, and it's kind of thematically relevant that this film went through production hell. So you feel like this is a long time since we've seen Puss. So keep in mind, he's slayed a giant. So how can this wolf compare in comparison? But as it turns out, the wolf completely dominates him. So seeing that scene prior, you think, oh, this guy's tough. Oh, he's really tough. Puss is for his actor like Maverick. Yeah. Puss in Boots. Okay, so Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is the Top Gun Maverick of animated films, and Godzilla -1 is the Top Gun Maverick of live-action Japanese films. Oh, man. We've had scary DreamWorks villains before, like Pitch Black. For Antonio Banderas. Yeah, we've had Pitch Black. We've had Tai Lung, but the Death Wolf is the scariest villain we've got yet. It's not just the fact that he's such an unstoppable warrior; it's the concept. My sister and her husband were able to get the concept, and it's interesting. Like even when the plot twist is obvious, like it doesn't have to be elaborate. I mean, it just works in and of itself. The other mother was creeping, definitely nightmare fuel, but personally, I felt like I could contend with her cunning, but death, I was like completely outclassed. Now that's interesting, Malika, because Brooks has said to me time and time again that he was completely freaked out by the other mother character to the point where it's profoundly transformed his life for better, for worse. So it's interesting to see the comparison. Also, sorry to freak you out even more, Mike. I believe it's a divine attribute to portray the villain in a way that points to a moral cause. So, because I was able to pull off a death impersonation during a previous live stream of me playing the go-kart game, might as well do it here. Well, if it isn't Puss in Boots himself, in the flesh. Hey, there's the famous hat, the feather, and of course, the boots. My compliments to your cobbler. Hey, it's nice to meet you too. Hey, I never do this, but can I get your autograph? I've been following you for a long time. My throat's not in proper. Is it the boots? Yes, the boots. The way he says the boots. They found the right voice actor for that guy. He's someone who's just very down to earth, but can really up the intimidation factor when you can. Like, you can definitely see why he gave Puss a heart. Yeah, there's the wolf symbol. You can see why this character gave Puss a panic attack. That panic attack has moved a lot of people. Yeah. I like seeing memes of people comparing the lesser quality of Disney and then just showing how DreamWorks compares, just showing the death scenes and just those ones alone just completely dominate everything modern Disney has put up in recent years. I would like the. What do you mean you've been following me for a long time? I'll be like, what do you mean you've been following me for a long time? I was there to witness all of them, each frivolous, but you never even noticed me because Puss in Boots laughs at the face of death, right? when I first saw the movie, there were annoying kids never stopped talking. What's Death? Holy cow! Holy cow! That sure would have taught them something. Holy cow! Holy cow! Right next to me. Holy cow! You know, what amazes me about the character is that for a film that's PG, this character is literally a horror villain. Like, this is like a xenomorph horror villain. This villain has about only 10 minutes of screen time, but my days, he makes every single scene count. The kids be like, is this what took Grandpa? Oh my days! Is this what took Grandpa? The next time I saw it, it was mostly adults. yeah. I remember seeing it on my own, and then I saw it with a group of friends of mine. They all really enjoyed it. Yeah. Just the funny stuff that can happen. And the stuff that I can see why it appeals to adults. There's just so many unexpectedly adult stuff, like the flippant use of the CRAP word. Oh yeah, and just other frequent mentions, like, and they were saying it's okay. That makes so much sense. There's so many stuff in that, but gosh, this live stream has just escalated to talking about Puss in Boots: The Last Wish again. It's just so good. I mean, at the end of the day, like, the death character is when Puss had the heart. Oh yeah, absolutely. It's I'm pretty to being the therapy dog. Yay! It's 2023. Yeah, it's just that people have been through so much, and people have been saying this film accurately represented their fears, and that the film brilliantly portrays how people are trying so desperately to seek immediate shortcuts to their problems. I know I've been through that phase as well, because I've been going through my own struggles. Just the past 2 years, I've been struggling with legalism in my head, and I've been learning from good people and good friends that compassion is the key to overcome the legalism and to really appreciate life. And this film was really inspirational for me to get over that. So for me, I could perceive like the Death Wolf as all those compulsions, all those fears, all those things that keep popping up, and then I have no idea how to respond to them. So I just want to run away or just try to have a quick fix. But I just got to learn to be present instead. Just calm down and just know that I'm loved. And honestly, I mean, there's various ways you could interpret Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, but it just goes to show that you made a great film when it can resonate with so many people for so many different ways. That's the key to writing a good story. Just make something that's got timeless virtues, and you got other stuff like the way the star tests people, how Goldilocks is seeking a biological. He became like Skull Knight from Berserk. Sorry, which character? Are we still talking about the death character, or I was just moving on from the. Anyway, I was talking about the star. It's interesting how the star tests people. Death. Yeah, very true. Brooks actually made a short about a death set to like the golden age film trilogy music. Go check that out if you get the chance. And all these characters have different motivations, and they talk about our need for stuff like I've had a friend criticize the film for Jack Horner being two-dimensional a villain, but I would say that's actually kind of the point, because A, Jack Horner is a comedic villain anyway, and B, it actually serves the film's message of being grateful versus always obsessing over more. Speaking of Berserk, are you caught up on the new chapters? Not quite yet. I need to get enough money to purchase all the chapters, but I have heard about what's been going on, like Griffith taking Casca, and like Guts is having to go through the stuff. I finished volume 1. Brooks is going through the stuff. Like, Brooks has seen the film trilogy and the 1990s adaptation. Now we're talking about Berserk. This is going to be an unpopular opinion. I actually think the film trilogy is better than the TV show. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of people scolding me like, you blasphemous person! How could you possibly like the film trilogy more so than the TV show? Here's the thing, like, I understand that the TV show probably has much better pacing than the film trilogy because by the very default of it being a TV show, it has more time to go into all the scenes, the character development, and all the necessary story pacing to build the characters and all the foreshadowing and so on and so forth. And certain scenes are not quite as rushed. When I tell you that Griffith got me enraged when he snatched Gus, I was shaking. But I feel like the film trilogy is actually better. I mean, I know people are quite iffy on the visuals, but I'd still say the visuals are much more impressive than the TV show. I know the TV show had a low budget, but yeah, it kind of shows at times. Like, I know there's those stylized moments in the TV show where you have these really cool still shots where I was like, nah, we didn't go through all this for you just to put it back in a zombie state. Oh my days, the whole series is depressing. I know there's these still shots where it looks like the manga, and it's really cool that way. The visual is definitely more impressive. Yeah, the visuals are more impressive in the film trilogy, and you could tell, like, the TV show takes these shortcuts, and it's just like, man. Movie trilogies are more satisfying. Yes, that's my key reason for liking the movie trilogy more. The TV show ending, ticked me off so much because it's the pinnacle of the show where Guts like rips his arms off and just goes after Griffith for doing it, just so I don't get censored, to Casca, and he's like really enraged. He's really going for it, like, and then it just stops. Dude, why? This is the part where the hope comes in, with the Skull Knight saving Casca and Guts, and then we actually see how Guts gets motivated to try to defeat Griffith. Like, why? Why would you end the show on the worst possible cliffhanger at the peak of the most horrible part of the Golden Age? It doesn't make sense. And it also doesn't make sense. Like, I wish they could have delved more into, like, the blacksmith arc. No, the blacksmith arc? No. The Black Swordsman arc in the TV show. I know we get it in, like, the first episode, but from what I've read of the Black Swordsman arc, we get a lot of insight, a lot of epic battles, but they probably wouldn't have been able to do that with their limited animation. But still, there's a lot more achieved in the Black Swordsman. Basically, fans always say, just read the manga. It's always going to be superior to the adaptations. They did it more in the 97 series, I admit. Yeah. Not to mention, the intro song, as catchy as it is, it was such an odd choice of a song. I mean, this is this epic, depressing series. And then you have this song that's like this sort of cheesy 80s song, like, tell me what you want. Why would you pick that? Honestly, I would have easily, like, happily, like, picked the High Forces song as opposed to whatever that was. I mean, the music for the TV show is also great. The ending song was so yeah, and of course, who can forget the Guts theme? But yeah, at the end of the day, I would choose the movie trilogy if for no other reason than the visuals, which look really great, as well as the ending. The ending was much more solid. It brought things more full circle of the characters just soaking in what just happened and what that actually means. And there is at least hope that, for as horrible as an event it was, they actually got out. And that's meant to be thematically relevant to the entire series, because the whole point of Berserk is no matter how terrible things get, there is always hope if you're willing to fight for it. But how can we get that on the worst possible cliffhanger? That's why I picked the movie trilogy over the TV show, just so you know. But Casca became a blank. Yeah, I know, but at least she's not left in a state where she's, for reasons I'm not going to mention online. Right. So speaking of ranting about stories, you want to hear more rants? I'm going to have a rant. Yes, but there was hope she could come back. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Mal. She would come back. Yeah, exactly. Also, Mal, I asked you a question earlier. Feel free to, as long as you're alive, there's always a chance. That's the takeaway of Berserk. Like, even though Berserk does take a lot of influence from nihilistic worldviews, it's still inspiration nonetheless, and it's sort of Nietzschean fantasy that it sets up. And me and Brooks were looking at this video talking about Berserk, about the 97 ending officially, and with Guts going back to Smithy and ending bleak. Yeah. Me and Brooks were looking at a video by some analyst online about comparing the difference between Schopenhauer and Nietzsche, and how Berserk is more of a Nietzschean story, because Schopenhauer, a lot of people confuse Schopenhauer with Nietzsche. Schopenhauer was completely nihilistic, but contrary to popular belief, Nietzsche was actually more of an optimist than many people perceive. Nietzsche was the kind of person who saw, like, yeah, everything's bleak and meaningless, but we can come up with meaning of our own and live and struggle for purpose. Like, Nietzsche was like, how did Guts return? Yeah, that's another question in the TV show. How did Guts get out of there alive? Like, and what happened to Casca? Like, seriously, TV show, you don't do this to us. So even though Berserk does have a very nihilistic outcome, that message and that theme of no matter how absolutely horrible life gets, you can still overcome the odds if you're willing to seek hope. And I think that message in itself really has appealed to so many people. And that's something I quite like about Berserk, is that if you watch AOT with Aaron and Zeke, you'll know Nietzsche and Schopenhauer. Okay, there we go. Oh, by the way, Mal, Brooks is also a fan of Attack on Titan, just so you know. Where was it? I've almost lost my train of thought there. Yeah, I've completely lost my train of thought. I was going to say something, but I lost my train of thought, and I hate those moments. Oh, man. I myself, I'm also a big fan of, I did a great AMV about it. Other seinen stories I'd recommend. By the way, seinen is not pronounced seinen. As a commenter recently said to me, it's pronounced seinen. So there we go. Yeah, thanks for reminding us, Brooks. Other seinen stories. It was Berserk's hope message. Right, thank you. There's other seinen stories I'd recommend. Vinland Saga and Monster. In another call, I recently introduced Malika to the concept of Monster, and she's already hooked. And Brooks, as far as I'm aware, you haven't seen Monster either, but I guarantee you, people are absolutely correct when they say that the Monster series has an antagonist that's on par with Griffith from Berserk. I guarantee you that. Anyway, not yet. I thought so. I'd highly recommend it if you get the time. You can watch the series on Netflix, like I did. Trying to. Yeah. So much time, so little effort. Anyway, speaking of ranting about stories, I wanted to make a rant about Disney's Wish and the Suicide Squad. Watch JoJo further. You can see. Right. I mean, Wish was disappointing enough as it was, but recently there's been word circulating around the internet. They'll have a better villain. Right. Okay. Got it. There was word circulating around the internet amongst people who had read about what's your language? Not Disney's Wish. Yeah. Did you see Wish 2, Mal? I was pretty disappointed. I made a review a while back called I Wish, get it, this movie was better. Get it? Member! My days, it has a lot of member berries. And there's so much wasted potential. I wish things were better than I mean, I was pretty disappointed with Disney's Wish as it was. I didn't consider Wish to be the worst film, but everyone on the internet calls it its mid-ass F. If you, we get it, yeah. I mean, Wish was disappointing as often as it is, but there's this one concept I want to rant about because there's been news circulating on the internet from people who read the concept art book. I mean, you got to love and appreciate the concept art books. But for once, the concept art book showcases something that was actually better than the final product. And when you actually learn of this, you're going to think, why? Why didn't they do this? Okay, so here's the concept. Stuff 100 years of Disney into an AI and call it a day writing. That's not the worst part, Brooks. I'll get into the worst part. So in the concept art book, there was originally going to be a concept of the Luma. Was meant to originally conceived to be like this human male. So basically, it would be like Neil Gaiman's Stardust if the star was a man and the human was a lady. And they were originally going to have those two paired against the King Magnifico and the Queen, who was also originally intended to be evil. And people were thinking, that would have been such an interesting concept. Divine Masculine. The Star Man could have been the Divine Masculine. That could have worked for reasons I'm going to get into. So, basically, there's this song in Wish called At All Costs. In the final product, At All Costs is sung by King Magnifico and Asha. And when you hear it out of context, you might think, this seems kind of odd. It sounds like a romantic song, but this don't sound like the right characters to sing it. When you see the film in context, they think, oh, okay, they're singing about all the wishes. Okay. But then, if you hear the demo, it is superior. And then when you apply that demo song with the concept art, you're going to get angry. Oh, yes. I'm talking Incredible Hulk levels of angry. Angry like nothing you've ever seen before. Because the demo version of At All Costs sounded more like a love song because they changed the lyrics. So presumably, and when you combine this with the concept art, Asha was originally meant to have a romantic duet song with this Starboy man person. And it's like, this demo version sounds so superior to what we actually got in the final product. And you just think, wait, this concept of this quite literally star-crossed lovers against evil king and queen, that sounds so much more interesting than the final product. Why didn't they commit to it? And when you find out this concept, it just ticks you off because the way they executed Wish was just so sloppy. But when you find out about actual good ideas they had, you just think, why didn't you commit to this? Okay. How do you reject cool ideas? You don't! You just don't. You never, ever, ever reject cool ideas that actually work. I mean, this is a legitimately cool idea. We could have had a power couple versus a power couple, and that's not really something you see in Disney before. And they could have their stupid woke stuff of like, we're taking the patriarchy and still appeal to classic Disney stuff. But no, we want our women to be strong and independent, even if the final product isn't as good as the concept we came up with. We've got to appeal as broad an audience as possible. Oh my days. Oh my days. Why didn't they commit to the original concept? It is far more interesting than the final product. Why didn't they commit? Oh my days. If you've seen Wish, let me know in the comments in the live chat. But oh my days. In fact, you know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try to find that song because that demo version is just so good. It's too good. It takes me off because it's too good and they didn't use it. Right. At all costs. Demo. She even have a little wow moment between with the Asha character, and I just think there's so much missed potential. According to Disney, the problem with such a storyline would mean that women and men actually need relationships. Disney, you had already. The messaging is that relationships are something you can want, but you shouldn't need. They already did that with Encanto and Moana, and to some extent, The Princess and the Frog. I mean, Moana's a beloved character, and she's single. I mean, Disney already achieved that. And Asha, I guarantee you, I've seen the film, Asha has no character development. She starts off as an idealistic woman, and she ends as this idealistic woman. I think having a romance in there could actually challenge her worldview and actually get her to grow as a character. Because, with romantic subplots, characters, they have their, the ones that are written well, that is, they have their conflicts. They find problems that they eventually overcome, and they appreciate each other more. I mean, Disney's guilty of love at first sight, of course, but they've had relationships where there's problems, but they eventually overcome them and then get closer over time. Because believe it or not, that's how real relationships work. There's problems which could threaten the relationship, but as the two of you overcome them and learn how to find a compromise and find compassion, you get close together. I mean, Disney's been able to do that for some time. But the messaging of Wish is just so sugar-coated. It's just that the outcome with Tiana, she basically realizes that being with her prince is better than achieving her dream alone. So the message is that love is greater than your career ambitions. If only if everyone else could accept that message today. That's a message that the woke crowd need to hear. The Disney princesses did not used to be trophy wives, exactly as Disney thought they were before. Boom, we fixed it. I mean, I was talking about Snow White lately, and Snow White's not quite the trophy person as people perceived her to be. Snow White was a person of responsibility. She encouraged the dwarves to clean up and take responsibility for their lives, kind of like Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson, if she was a cute German woman. Tiana achieves her dreams when she accepts love. All of us will achieve our true dreams when we accept love. Boom. Mic drop. With Tiana, I mean Asha, I don't really get any sense of character development at all. They've had characters before her that had character development, such as with Tiana learning how to accept love and just to not take herself too seriously. Rapunzel was getting used to the outside world, so the adorkable quirks made sense, and so on and so forth. Asha, what is there to grow? I mean, she has this ideology, and it remains unchallenged throughout the entire film. Everyone deserves to get their wishes. You clearly haven't seen Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, where one character in particular has a horrible wish. I mean, imagine if Asha saw the wish of Jack Horner. What would her reaction be? Jiminy Cricket's reaction was like, and then Jiminy Cricket was like, "Oh, that was horrible. Your wish is horrible. You're horrible. You're an irredeemable monster. Oh, what took you so long, idiot?" And also, have you not seen Bruce Almighty, Asha? The whole point of one of the the second half of Bruce Almighty is that you can't answer everyone's prayers. Because if you did, then the sky's the limit. Because sometimes prayers are not answered, and sometimes the silence of God is necessary for you to grow in character. Sometimes the teacher is silent during the test, as they say. But Asha wouldn't get that, and that position of hers remains unchallenged. And there's nothing to counter-argue. There's no interesting character development to go from that. So if I were rewriting Wish, I would say, okay, not everyone deserves to have their wish fulfilled. If they kept the Starboy concept, they could have had more chances of delving into that kind of stuff. Honestly, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is the superior wishing star film. Marx, listen to Marx, not the... No. Don't listen to Person Brutes. Listen to Mark. I mean, the mouse. All right, so that's my rant about Disney's Wish. Like, seriously, you screwed up. Why didn't you just use the cool concept? Why couldn't you just stick to it? Disney writes female characters as though they're perfect human beings who are always right and can never be wrong. If they are wrong, it's because the world is wrong and needs to change. Yeah. And take it from Malika, everybody, because Malika is a literary agent. She knows how to write characters, and she knows about actual masculinity and femininity far more than I ever could. Oh, but you wouldn't take her advice, would you? Because she goes against the agenda. I like this. Are you quoting Thor, Brooks? Are you quoting Thor? or like the captain of the guard in like Wakanda Forever? I like her. Why? You can come to Wakanda, conscious or unconscious. Yeah, I thought you were quoting Thor. Yeah. Ha ha ha! Hardy. I stabbed myself in the eye with the wine bottle. Except I'm better judge of character. Better judge of character than Thor. That's another thing about these woke tropes. Like, when they're so desperate for you to like this perfect role model who honestly has no character development, you'll just get some other character that audiences actually like and have them say, oh, I like this character, but they never explain, well, why? What is there to like? Could you elaborate, please? I mean, Captain Marvel and Ray and Riri Williams and Asha, they have no character development, and yet we're expecting to root for them? Why? But if you thought those characters were terrible woke role models, okay, they are nothing compared to the cringe that is Teela from the Masters of the Universe Revelation show. That was just, that was cringe ramped up to 11. That's what that was. Not to mention, I guess there was also Sabine from the Ahsoka series, which me and Brooks saw. Like, when is Hollywood Nocturne? Oh my days, Nocturne! Do not get me started with Nocturne. Do not get me started with Nocturne. Never forget. Me and Brooks sighed with relief when Nocturne was not nominated for the best adaptation of the year. Yeah. The Last of Us won best game adaptation of the year. And yeah, the Last of Us adaptation had a lot of woke flaws in there, but it's definitely better than Nocturne, because at least it was more faithful to the source material, unlike Nocturne. There's a YouTuber named Reaper. His review on Nocturne pretty much nails every problem that me and Brooks have with the show. Reaper even commented on a video I made talking about One Piece and comparing that to Ahsoka and Nocturne, and why the One Piece show was superior. We don't. We don't talk about Nocturne. Turn. We don't talk about Nocturne. But it was a Netflix show. We were getting ready, and there wasn't a glitch, and no glitches allowed in the place. Richter walks in with a mischievous grin. Wokesters, you're telling the story out of my. I'm sorry, we better go. What they did to the Belmonts is crazy. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! You saw it too, didn't you? She saw it too. I'm singing. Malika saw it too. To quote Heart of Darkness and Apocalypse Now. Oh my days. Oh my days. Malika, I think it says a lot. I am very grateful, Malika, that you are publicly criticizing Nocturne. Because without getting too sensitive, oh my days, Nocturne does a horrible. The way I was so excited to see it, and they turned out that mess. I know, right? Nocturne does a horrible job at representing cultures. Like, you have like communist Hermione, as Brooks jokingly called her, saying, yeah, we're all for the revolution. We're going to smash the patriarchy, even though they are living in a rich deluxe lifestyle in which they have no reason to complain. Why are you having a revolution? And why is this revolution so clean? Where are the corpses? Where is the other mess? Like, Assassin's Creed Unity was a more faithful adaptation of the French Revolution than this pile of rubbish. Nocturne, who's Isaac? Twilight Vania Nocturne. Yeah, that's what we called it. Twilight Vania Nocturne. That's what we called it. Because also, the vampires don't burn the daylight, and there's this one character who's from like South America. I'll try to watch that if I get the chance. There's this one character who was from like South America, but JoJo's Bizarre Adventure did this way better. South America, the South American a vampire was perceived as, oh, a victim, and the white men came in and ruined everything because South Americans never did anything harmful at all, apart from child sacrifice. Just ignore that part, please. and Reaper pointed out that, oh, so the white men, Aztec, thank you, Aztec vampire, thank you. So this Aztec vampire got oppressed by white people, even though Europe is portrayed as more diverse than modern day downtown Miami. What? So you should be saying the diverse people oppressed the Aztec people. Oh my days. And I'm sure Malika won't mind us talking about this. There's this one character in Discount Cars. Yeah, Discount Cars from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Oh, by the way, bring. That's a JoJo reference. Me and Brooks were watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has its moments where it's so melodramatic or so ridiculous I can't help but laugh. One of them is when Cars just takes a lady's leg and just randomly goes bring like a guitar. Why? Anyway, back to Nocturne. I've forgotten the name of the character, but she was her personality and her race was completely changed from the original source material. The pacing was off. The characters were unlikable children. I personally hate children taking on fighting positions when there are literally adults involved. Quite. And the art style of Alucard. What? Yeah, it was a little bit iffy. There's this one character like Invincible. I mean, I guess Invincible kind of got away with it because as much as people complain about her character, at least her character still made sense in the context of the plot. Amber, yeah. But the race swapped character in Nocturne, oh my freaking days! Like, kind of this. What have they done with this character? It's the fact that this character just won't shut up about slavery. I mean, this character, you have an entire episode, an entire origin episode in episode 3 dedicated to this one. Okay, sorry, that was going off topic. Anyway, not that the art style was for Alucard was bad, but it was completely different from the rest of the cast and threw me off. Yeah. Anyway, this one girl who's like from Africa, she won't shut up about her slavery. Even after there's an entire episode dedicated to white man shaming, as well as the details of this African girl and her African goddess powers and all these details about her being oppressed by the slavery, the show still won't shut up about her being a slave. I feel like she was trying to educate me about slavery. Like, girl, I know how Haiti was freed. Also, guess what? White men liberated the slaves. White men ended the white men ended the Atlantic slave trade. William Wilberforce, Granville Sharp, Thomas Clarkson, with the assistance of a former slave, Olaudah Equiano. And over in America, you have Abraham Lincoln. And then you also have John Newton here in the UK. Most of these people were white. But the woke don't want to admit that, because that would imply the white men are capable of something good. Oh no! Oh no! You mean white men are capable of being decent folk? Blasphemy! Most unorthodox, most unheard of. I'm so grateful, Malika, that someone of African descent is highly criticizing how stupid Nocturne is. I'm so grateful for your presence, Malika, because there'll be wokesters coming after me saying, "Oh, you're such a misogynist, you're such a racist." Oh yeah? I have a friend who's got African descent, and is like, she agrees with me. What are you going to do about that? You see, the woke, they feed off emotionality. They don't rationalize. They're just brainwashed in their own crazy little world. And Nocturne is trying to enforce that. And it's just one of the stupidest things ever. And you know what's even worse? It's the fact that this girl still won't shut up about slavery. Like, girl, do you not have any other forms of character development? Like, I remember seeing the film Amazing Grace, which is based on the story of William Wilberforce, Granville Sharp, Thomas Clarkson, and Olaudah Equiano. There's a scene where Olaudah Equiano is remembering the simpler days of the beauty of Africa and what he did as a child. Like, stuff like that is good character development. How come we got none of that with this character? You don't shut up about slavery. Like, do you talk about anything else other than slavery? What about your culture? What do you like about your culture? What's your favorite food? What do you miss? What do you like to eat? What do you like to sleep? What's your dreams? Something! Give us characters who are well written, not vehicles for your anti-slavery message. Thank you, Malika. Also, it's ironic how the woke critiqued the most unorthodox stereotype, the chaotic feminine Ungoliant, the other mother. Yeah. So, make a long story short, Nocturne sucks in every conceivable way, and the show just goes completely against common sense. Okay. Another story I wanted to rant about was the upcoming Suicide Squad video game, because I don't think I've told you people this, but I'm a big fan of the Batman Arkham video game series. Like, if you talk to me about the best superhero video games in existence, the first Spider-Man game, Miles Morales, Lego Incredibles, and then there's the Batman Arkham series, which is like the pinnacle of superhero video games. Video games have this potential for interactive art forms. And the entire series was really engrossing, even with its ups and downs. But now the upcoming Suicide Squad game is threatening to ruin all that. I mean, the premise itself is like, kill the Justice League. Okay, like, this is probably going to be like some kind of spin-off game, but here's their big blunder. It's canon to the Arkham series. It's canon. And they have completely retconned the deaths of Joker and Poison Ivy, from what I've heard. And Batman dies like some average chump from one of his lesser villains. And it's the last performance of Kevin Conroy. And he goes out not with a bang, but with a whimper. What was Rocksteady thinking? But even worse, I heard there was these new... Hold on a minute. I'm going to have to... Hold on a minute. I'll be right back because there's a specific word that I learned earlier that I need to pronounce properly. Hold on a minute. No, wait. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Oh, my days. Oh, this is so cringe. There's a cutscene that has been leaked about the Suicide Squad game. So it's been well known that Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy are a couple. So in this timeline, Poison Ivy dies, but then she comes back as a young girl, just regenerating herself. Oh, you know about this too, Brooks. Right. Basically, there is a line. I mean, people would not bat an eye if this was like the adults talking, Greta Thunberg. How dare you? People would not bat an eye if this was like, you know, two adults talking to each other. But this specific line is coming from a child. Poison Ivy, regenerated as a child, is saying, oh, my pheromones remembers you. Why would you say that? Could possibly be a daughter. oh, I get it. Young Poison Ivy is Greta Thunberg. Wouldn't it be funny if in the new Suicide... Excuse me. Yeah, that's literally what they say, and it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting. Like, that's an actual line being said in that game. And it's absolutely horrifying. She should be remembering how to spell and count to 100. Yeah. And she says, oh, my pheromones remembers you. This is coming from a child. It's no wonder they wanted to censor Sound of Freedom, huh? Oh, my days. What are these people thinking? This game is completely ruining the Batman Arkham series. Although, to be fair, you could still play the Batman Arkham series and just pretend that the Suicide Squad game doesn't exist. The Suicide Squad does this pedophilic crap. I don't often say that word, but I'm saying that. This is why they should have stayed friends. My days. And then there's this whole controversy surrounding the game about the whole live service thing and the stupid microtransactions. And with Arkham Knight, yeah, microtransactions. I can tell that the Suicide Squad game, it's going to be the worst video game of 2024. I'm just going to say that right now. The way it's completely retconning the Batman Arkham series, that disgusting line being said. No, I'm out. I'm completely out. Ended with Arkham Knight. Yeah. The Arkham series ends with Arkham Knight. Gotham Knights tried, but it didn't compare to the finale that is Arkham Knight. I mean, Arkham Knight had its flaws as well, but honestly, like that interactive scene with Joker versus Batman as the final boss encounter, that's some of the best piece of interactive storytelling you'll ever see. Just the way they get the player to play the sort of psychology of Batman as everything seems to be at its lowest peak. The way they do it, it's such a genius piece of interactive storytelling. Now to see all that, and the fact that it was Kevin Conroy's last performance, it's just, yeah. If they'd have stayed friends, they wouldn't have had that awkward line. Here's the thing. Not even Majora's Mask would go that far. I mean, Majora's Mask is this this game which also involves someone's lover being cursed into becoming young again, thus causing a obvious age gap between the lover and the other lover. Except that was handled way better than here, obviously. So I had to get that out there. And obviously, I managed to inform my friend Mel about it, and there we go. Now I want to move on to my hopes for 2024. I got a lot of hopes. Me and my friend Brooks, I've been going through a lot these past few years. And due to our own creative efforts, and with the fact that I'm noticing more and more people waking up to realize the significance of the culture war and like timeless beauty, and as well as the efforts of myself and Brooks and Malika, and as well as my friends like Evan Prince and other such people, are past. Yeah. You can talk to Malika about that in private message. Just it gives me hope that with people becoming increasingly aware of like the viewpoints of the critical drinker and Nerdrotic and all these other folks, the fact that more and more people are coming to me and to Brooks and to Mal, it's giving me genuine hope that even though things might get a little bit topsy-turvy, things are legitimately going to get better simply because people are becoming more aware and the independent market is rising and Japan's beginning to notice and Universal's awesome and Miyazaki is dominating the competition as well as Nolan and Scorsese. Like, there's always going to be passionate storytellers out there. And I'm just so happy that after all that we've been through, people are finally trying to aspire for true art. And we're going to see some awesome stuff in 2024. There's some new games that look really interesting in the Game Awards. We've got Dune Part 2 coming out very soon, which I'm very much looking forward to. There's some other films coming. Oh yeah. Kung Fu Panda 4. Yeah. Kung Fu Panda 4 looks really interesting. I know a lot of people say, does this sequel really need to be made? But the plot synopsis seems very creative. And from what I've seen of the plot synopsis, it's another addition to Poe's hero's journey. You see, the reason why DreamWorks is so skilled at Tarantino spoke the same way. Yeah. The reason why DreamWorks is so skilled at making sequels is because they don't just make sequels for the sake of berries. I feel the same way, unnecessary. Yeah. They don't just make sequels for cashing in, unless it's Boss Baby and Trolls. Schaefer list. Yeah. What about Schaefer list? The reason why DreamWorks DreamWorks sequels are so good is because instead of being cash cows, they actually continue the story like any good sequel should. They take what was established and build from it. You're quoting him right now. Oh, right. Unintentionally. Yay. Shout out to Schaeferless. He's quite a cool guy and quite an inspiration for Brooks. Yes, everyone's favorite Tamatoa loving YouTuber. DreamWorks sequels actually add to the story, and many of my favorite DreamWorks movies I've noticed are sequels. Many of them. I love Shrek 2. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is the most recent sequel they made, and well, we just talked about it for a significant portion. There was the How to Train Your Dragon sequels, which expanded the world, and they further developed characters' sense of maturity and the different phases of their different stages of life. With the Kung Fu Panda series, love Puss in Boots before it was cool. Yeah. I'm glad to hear you like the first film. With the Kung Fu Panda series, I find its structure really interesting because I've commented this on another video that someone's made with goodness of years. Each phase of Poe's life represents different phases of the hero's journey, and there's 3 different methods of being that I've noticed. In the first Kung Fu Panda film, it's all about the physical. In the second Kung Fu Panda film, it's about the emotional. In the third Kung Fu Panda film, it's about the spiritual. So with the first Kung Fu Panda film, the conflict is physical. Poe is fat, and doesn't have much experience with Kung Fu other than a passion for the fighting art form. And so he's chosen as the Dragon Warrior, and he has to physically overcome himself in order to overcome a physical opponent. The previous person said to be the Dragon Warrior, Tai Lung. Tai Lung is established as a physical threat who can take on so many guards. And Po, at the end, eventually finds the will in him to physically overcome Tai Lung, kind of like Rocky versus Creed. In the second Kung Fu Panda film, it's all about the emotional. Anakin kind of, Tai Lung is like Anakin Skywalker, actually. With Kung Fu Panda 2, the stakes are raised. So we know that Po is a physically capable warrior, but now his past is coming into play and the trauma that comes with it. And gosh, given the fact that I've been wrestling with legalism, I find Kung Fu Panda 2 much more relatable now, looking back. Po is having these disturbing thoughts about his past, and the villain he's facing has an important role in Po's past trauma. So from that, Lord Shen is able to emotionally manipulate Po. So Po is Shen equals Griffith. Yeah, sure. There's a thought. Gosh, now I'm imagining Griffith as a peacock. Gosh, wow, now that you mention it, Shen and Griffith do have a lot in common because peacocks are usually associated with beauty. That's another thing. People at the time thought, a peacock? How are you going to make a peacock intimidating? Turns out Lord Shen is one of the best DreamWorks villains, played by Gary Oldman. So Lord Shen is able to manipulate Po's emotions to his advantage. And Shen requires cunning and manipulation to get what he wants. Po is constantly stuck with trying to fight off these intrusive thoughts, trying to suppress them down, but he's not really in the present moment. And so not being in the present moment, Gary Oldman is such a Gary Oldman's awesome.
Your parents didn't love you, but here, let me heal you.
He's so awesome. He's such an awesome guy. He adds in a bit of comedy in there too.
The only reason you're still alive, Panda, is because I find your stupidity mildly amusing.
Pardon me, farted again. So Po has to overcome his emotional trauma by learning to confront the intrusive thoughts and be more Shen's deal. Bad Po. Oh my days. So Po needs to learn to be more present and to overcome his own discomforts and to realize his discomforts do not define him. In fact, his discomforts often lie to him and manipulate reality. So, and I understand this more than ever, having faced legalism myself. Even just now, I just had an intrusive thought that was distorting something, but I know it doesn't fit the proper context of the reality around me. So, and plus, I've learned not to listen to condemnation. Condemnation is not from God, so you got to embrace compassionate grace instead. So Po is able to be more present and to confront his past and the emotions that come with it. And the goat lady says to Po, your story may not have such a happy beginning, but that doesn't define who you are. It's who you choose to be that defines the rest of your story. So who are you? Then Po decides, okay, I'm the Dragon Warrior. I'm going to be more present. And so he's able to overcome Lord Shen by being more emotionally stable, just as I've learned to be more emotionally stable. I tell you, just embracing compassion really just kills, it saps off the root of condemnation. I tell you that much. Johnny Silverhand as goat. So in Kung Fu Panda 3, you have Kai, who has a theme song that's literally an Imagine Dragons song. and Kai was an old friend of Uguay's, but Kai keeps stealing the spiritual energy of all the people. So this next foe that Poe has to face is a spiritual foe. Now, this foe has an attribute that transcends the physical and arguably the mental, because the spiritual is who you are. The spiritual is how you are perceiving me right now. The spirit is what you literally are. So the spirit is your well-being. So in order to have spiritual well-being, you've got to have a transcendent purpose and to value timeless themes like timeless virtues like family and love and stuff like that. Kai fixates on stealing a spiritual energy from other people to empower himself and make these jade zombies almost sounds like I'm saying jobbies of other people, which saps them of their original personality, who they are, all for the sake of manipulation and control. But Poe is able to overcome Kai with spiritual strength, realizing that the spiritual positives will always outweigh the spiritual negatives. No matter how much negatives you pile up, the positives is always going to overwhelm the negatives. It's why Oogway says at the beginning of the film, the more you take, the less you have. So in Kung Fu Panda 4, from what I've seen so far, we see that Poe has reached the high status of becoming a Kung Fu master. And the premise of the film is that he's ready to pass on the beacon, as it were, to a new potential dragon warrior. In this case, it's going to be like this gray fox, like voiced by Awkwafina. We'll see how she handles this role. And apparently Tai Lung is returning. And if I'm not mistaken, the other previous villains are going to be returning, because this new villain, the first main female villain in the mainline Kung Fu Panda films, mind you, is this evil, like, occultic sorceress chameleon lady who has the power to steal, like, the Kung Fu energy of other people and shapeshift. And this is going to be quite an interesting opponent for Poe to take down. I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't quite go to the same animation route as Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. But hey, it's Kung Fu Panda. It's still going to be visually gorgeous anyway. Maybe they may have taken a few shortcuts, but hey, it's Kung Fu Panda. It's still visually appealing, and honestly, I'm looking forward to this. And it's coming around in March, which will be my birthday time. So I'm looking forward to Kung Fu Panda 4. What other films are coming out in 2024? Feel free to bring them up in the comments. Oh yeah, I'm having trouble getting to see The Boy and the Heron on time, but thankfully a friend has invited me to see it in a cinema next month, so I've got that covered. I'm sure The Boy and the Heron is another masterpiece by the one and only Hayao Miyazaki. Malika, you need to watch Hayao Miyazaki films. Oh, also, Malika, while you're here, you pronounced Princess Mononoke as Princess Mononoke. I'm here to tell you live and clear, Malika. You pronounce Princess Mononoke as Mononoke, not Mononoke as in Coke. I just thought I'd let you know, Malika, whilst you're watching this. She knows. Oh, man. Okay, 2024 films. I'm just typing it up. Oh, yeah, Inside Out 2. That's actually a film I'm very much looking forward to. I know that people complain about modern Disney these days, but Mononoke. Yes, thank you, Malika. Inside Out 2. People keep saying we don't need all these sequels, but a sequel to Inside Out 2, I actually want to see. Cautiously optimistic. Yeah, this could dangerously tilt in specific directions we don't want, but as far as I'm aware, Pete Docter still has some element of control, and Pete Docter's a great director who's directed Monsters, Inc., Up, Inside Out, and Soul. Brooks particularly loved Soul. Soul is just one of the most surprisingly philosophical animated films ever made. Inside Out 2. What makes me excited for Inside Out 2 is the fact that the filmmakers had they had so many ideas that they couldn't possibly portray all of them within the span of an hour and a half film. But with a sequel, now they can. Yeah, there's a few questionalities like, well, if Riley's getting these new emotions, what happens to these emotions when she becomes an adult, like all the other people that we saw? I think a friend of mine said, well, maybe these emotions are just exclusive to the bizarreness of the teenage phase. So I guess that makes sense. Maybe they're just like working behind the scenes. And here's the thing, animation has this beautiful gift. I mean, art is a beautiful gift anyway. And animation has this potential for visual storytelling. So it's interesting to see where this could go. I mean, yeah, this could plummet to something bad and kind of unhealthy, but I'd be curious to see Inside Out 2 nonetheless, just purely because of what concepts they could delve into. Let's see, what else is being released in 2024? Let's see. If you have any films in 2024, feel free to bring them up. Let's see. Deadpool 3. Oh, I've been hearing some mixed things about that. I guess we'll wait and see. Despicable Me 4. They're making another one. Godzilla and Kong the New Empire. The crossover comedy we did not expect. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. It's been a while since we've seen that sequel. I've seen that franchise in action. Let's see. Joker fully. I'd be curious to see that. I really liked the first Joker film. Apparently, they're making an adaptation of Wicked. National Treasure 3. Oh, come on. You got to have Nicolas Cage in there. A Quiet Place Day 1. That I'm interested. Oh, yeah. Void's Last Session. Yes. Malika, you'd be very interested in this. Freud's Last Session comes out next year. Oh, yeah. I really want to see that film. This is going to be another philosophical film. So Freud's Last Session, it's based on a fictional screenplay which sees Sigmund Freud have an encounter with C.S. Lewis. All the Ariana Grande fans rushing to see Wicked. Indeed. We'll wait and see when it comes out. I'm sure there'll be a lot of hype for it. I remember seeing Wicked in New York, actually. Fun fact. So Freud's Last Session is a fictional encounter between Sigmund Freud, played by Anthony Hopkins, and C.S. Lewis, and they debate a lot about life, about God, about philosophy, psychology, about trauma, about death, and about all these other important topics. I'm already interested in this film. It's the fact that Anthony Hopkins is in it as well that particularly interests me, because this is not the first time. I will take Freud's side. Yeah. Yeah, just because he's played by Anthony Hopkins. I'll talk more about that. Freud and C.S. Lewis. I'm sold. Yeah, see, told you. No, Freud and C.S. Lewis. I'm sold. Yeah. The reason why this concept of Freud, the fact that Anthony Hopkins is in it. Yeah, it's kind of a joke. This is not the first time, because about the whole life and death philosophy part. Yeah, that's understandable, right? So, and this is particularly interesting because Brooks is a Catholic himself, but yet Brooks finds himself absolutely agreeing with the views of like Carl Jung and Freud and Nietzsche, practical versus spiritual. Aye. So I'll delve more into the context of the film. I just want to talk about behind the scenes context. This is not the first time Anthony Hopkins has gotten involved in a C.S. Lewis-themed film. Anthony Hopkins, strangely enough, portrayed C.S. Lewis, the exact opposite, in the past in a film called Shadowlands, which is this live-action adaptation of C.S. Lewis's book, A Grief Observed, the story of C.S. Lewis encountering his lover before she tragically passed away, hence the title A Grief Observed. And Shadowland, the reason why the film's called Shadowland is because it ties into C.S. Lewis's Narnia books and his frequent mentions of the term Shadowland, as in this life. This life is but a mere shadow of what's yet to come. He even calls the last chapter of his final Narnia book Farewell Shadowlands, and it's such a profound title. And the last chapter of The Last Battle of Narnia is one of the most beautiful chapters I've ever read in my life. Just the way C.S. Lewis describes it. He's a great writer. I suppose in regards to the implications of this film, Freud, you want to talk about Santa Claus Lewis. I live in the real world too. Santa Claus. They call him Santa Claus, like Nightmare Before Christmas from Daredevil. It's going to be so interesting to see these two clash together, especially how Anthony Hopkins is now portraying the exact opposite of the character he portrayed years ago. And it's interesting because not too long ago, the Christian community has had another C.S. Lewis live-action themed film called The Most Reluctant Convert, which was based on C.S. Lewis's autobiography called Surprised by Joy, in which basically that film is based on a stage play based on the autobiography by C.S. Lewis. and I'm just going to say it right here, right now. The actor who portrayed C.S. Lewis in The Most Reluctant Convert film, that is the best depiction of C.S. Lewis. He sounds the most alike. He looks the most like C.S. Lewis at that particular age. I think that's the definitive on-screen C.S. Lewis, if you ask me, the one from The Most Reluctant Convert. I mean, I've said before in the past, but in the past few years, I find myself very interested in apologetics, and C.S. Lewis is probably the most popular figure when it comes to the topic of Christian apologetics. Apologetics coming from the Greek word apologia, which means to give reason for the faith. You see, C.S. Lewis used to be an atheist in many of his years, but later on, just from reasoning and thinking it through, he eventually converted to Christianity, and he was very reluctant to do so, hence the title, The Most Reluctant Convert. C.S. Lewis eventually reasoned that his main reason for rejecting God was for moral reasons, but then he realized, hang on a minute, how can I call something moral if there's no standard? You wouldn't call a line crooked unless you knew what a straight line was. For the same reason, what kind of morality am I complaining about compared to like the objective morality that a transcendent God provides? Because left on our own, morality and meaning is just anyone's game. But C.S. Lewis reasoned, if we have a God, then that actually gives us the necessary order to have morality to live by. And he has a very interesting sense of reasoning in that he combines his sense of imagination with what he observes around him to make legit points. And his books are still being used in the apologetics field today, like with the book. He makes non-fiction books as well as fictional books. He made books like Miracles. He made books like Mere Christianity, Surprised by Joy, the autobiography that the Most Reluctant Convert is based on. What the frick? Hold on a minute. Sorry, some friend was calling me. Sorry, I'm in the middle of something. Okay, back to what I was talking about. I've lost my train of thought. Someone was trying to call me on Skype. So Daredevil and Punisher. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see these two. Call me when you're ready. Right, sure. So it's interesting when Freud's last session is going to come around, even though this meeting is completely fictional, like completely made up. I'm sure the playwright has done his research on the viewpoints of Freud and C.S. Lewis, because both of them, they're very smart and observant people, and both of them have made profound contributions to academia. Now, Freud's psychological studies are considered outdated because a lot of his studies eventually culminate in all men want to bang their mothers. Which, yeah, that seems really crazy. Like, obviously he's going to try to reason and defend for that, but since his student Carl Jung entered the picture and basically updated Freud's studies, and then and then in later years Jordan Peterson would take that mantle, Freud's studies are considered outdated, but nevertheless provided a major contribution to the academic topic of psychology. Later, Carl Jung would enter the picture, and arguably Joseph Conrad with his book Heart of Darkness. And then Jordan Peterson, as we see today. Jordan Peterson seems to be the main arbiter of psychological study in today's mind. Then should I still read Freud? I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, Freud's an important figure. I mean, you should learn about him just to understand culture, for the same reason you'd read about any significant thinker throughout the generations, just to hear their opinions, if for no other reason, just to think, what were people thinking during each generation? How did they think? How did they perceive reality at that time? Even if it's with people you disagree with, there's certain systems that can only make full sense once you realize what's their core philosophy. I think it's a good idea to read Freud's work, but always take everything with a pinch of salt. Yeah. Jung has a better grasp on things. Read widely and be critical. Yeah. Also, Malika, in one of her videos, has recommended these books about masculinity. Well, several videos about masculinity and femininity. Malika's recommended, stick to Jung. Yeah. Malika has made videos about book recommendations. Some of the books she recommended were these psychology books by someone named Robert A. something, and the books are simply called He and She. That's how I know of the anima animus. Yeah, I told you about the anima and the animus. Basically the feminine concept within men and the male concept within females. And Malika's recommended the books He and She to get a full grasp of the psychological journey of the men and the woman. In the book She, from what I've read, the author makes a comparison between the Greek myth of Aphrodite with the growth of a woman. So basically, it's a series of self-denials, and then self-acceptance, and then denial again, and then acceptance, and then denial again, and acceptance, and submission, and then taking responsibility to overcome this obstacle, to embrace the beautiful side again, over and over and over again. The male journey is apparently compared to like the hunt for the Holy Grail, from what I know, or some kind of knight's journey or something like that. So it's important to understand psychology, to understand how people work. So it'll be interesting. And something to keep in mind is that C.S. Lewis didn't always get things right either, although people still rely on C.S. Lewis for a lot of things to this day. Some people would say he was probably when it came especially to his fictional works, when addressing theological topics, he was probably a bit too imaginative for the life of him to properly address theology. So when it comes to C.S. Lewis's fictional works, it's best to see them as works of art rather than direct gospel. So I think that could help when reading C.S. Lewis's fiction. When it comes to C.S. Lewis's non-fiction, the feminine is... I guess I should finish my point first before reading Malika's comment. Okay, you know what? Stuff it. Then I'm going to read these comments because Malika is far more knowledgeable about male and female psychology, and Brooks and I are just learning. Anyway, Malika says, the feminine is in a constant state of change. That's why the feminine represents chaos, not necessarily as a negative thing, but just because it isn't constant, as Jordan Peterson would say, order and chaos in one of his books. Brooks says, and I think I know why she's afraid of death. Oh, psychoanalyzing each other, huh? Bring it on. And I think I know why she's afraid of death, because it's the chaotic masculine that destroys self-worth in women, in the same way the other mother destroys my self-determination. No wonder there's the conflict between the two, because Brooks was traumatized by the other mother from Coraline, but Malika's quite scared of the death wolf. So for that reason, the feminine journey is always in constant flux. Meant chaotic, feminine, negative, masculine. All right. Man, you know what we should do? All of us should make this podcast where we all just talk about these academic terms in the media, and everyone would be in a far better world for it. Who's up for that? Hey. So as you can tell, Brooks, as you can tell, Brooks, Malika is very well educated on these topics. Masculinity represents order, and so the masculine journey tends to be contending against chaos. Right. Yeah. I know there's been a lot of chaos in my life with the woman. The way my mum forces me to do a lot of shopping. Oh, the chaos. Oh, the chaos. Hey, Wilda Diaz. Hey, I'm up. Yeah. Oh, sweet. Yes. Yes, that's what positive feminine helps restore in men. Yeah. And that's the thing. Men and women are necessary to balance each other out, as I've noticed in recent years, is that men and women both have these psychological strengths, and the woke don't understand this. They think, oh, the females should be exactly like men, if not better and more smarter than those dumb, pathetic men will ever be. But the problem is, if you do that, then you're denying the genuine strength of femininity, and you're also trying to deny masculinity whilst also ironically embracing the toxic traits of masculinity you claim to be against. So in reality, men and women are necessary to balance each other out. Women have this amazing strength in nurture. Like, women have far greater social strength and a greater sense of nurture than men will ever have. That's not to say men can't be sociable or that men can't, socially help others. I mean, they certainly can, but women just have it much more naturally, I would say. And someone clicked on the love heart as if someone agreed with me. Like, women have this innate emotional understanding that men don't have. Men tend to be more blunt. Men were basically made to be the perseverers of physical labor, but this can blunt the mentality. And if certain circumstances go a particular way, men tend to close themselves off when life gets too hard. So when the woman comes in, that gives the men the mental space to actually open up and to connect. And with that mental well-being, it makes the man mentally more stable to relate to other people and to actually live a happier life and a more mentally stable life. So men and women are meant to balance each other out. And I've heard like people like the YouTuber Baggage Claim say that they want actual men because with actual men who are willing to take on challenges and take responsibility, women can follow the lead in a way that they'd be happy to submit to. I mean, that's the ideal situation, but of course, like, Malika knows way more on that than me at the moment. Women tend to understand subtly more. Right, okay. That's why two women can have a whole fight in front of a man and he'd never really understand what's going on. That's why Namona annoys me. Well, until one of them starts screaming, down, Kitty! Get into a cat fight. Oh, man. Yes! Double A's here! I hope you have a Merry Christmas, Scott. At last, we have Double A and Malika on the same chat together. Double A was asking for the longest time, how is Malika? And I never got to see Double A and Malika on the same chat on my own channel, but now I do! Yes! Yes! We did it! We have succeeded as a society! Yes! Read the comment above. Malika comment. We finally did it! We finally did it! Oh my days. Double A, Malika, talk to each other whilst you can. Come on. Ask each other how you're getting on. Do something. My comment. Which comment was that? I'm pretty sure I've read all the comments so far. Language, Double A, language. Let's see. That's why Namona annoys me. Oh, that Netflix show, right? A double A. Yes! We finally have them talking! Yes! I have waited for this moment for so long! Oh, wait, not that one? Oh, okay. Let's see. Yes, that's what positive feminine helps restore in men. Is it that one? Right. Above the women tend to understand, quote, you might want to type it out again. Sometimes the comments might disappear on me for some reason. Above the women tend to understand. Yes, that's what positive feminine helps restore in men. I think the comment must have like disappeared on me. Hello, old friend. I've got the Cheshire cat smile. Most everyone's mad here. I'm very happy to be amongst very lovely company. Absolutely, Double A. Absolutely. Man, previously it was me and Double A in the live chat of Malika's videos, and now I'm the one. I'm the captain now. Oh, man. So that's funny. That's funny. Let's see. Screw Amazon. I mean, Amazon's not that bad. I get cool stuff by ordering stuff on Amazon, like books and stuff that I don't often use, and other stuff, and 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 stuff. Death is the tyranny of nature. The other mother is the chaos of nature. Okay. Okay, there we go. There we go. I think that was the comment that Brooks was trying to type, but for some reason, I don't get the chance to read every comment because sometimes the comments just kind of disappear on me for some reason. Right. Okay, so psychologically. Okay, here we go. So the death wolf from Puss in Boots is the tyranny of nature. So that would terrify the inner chaos of the feminine, whilst the other mother is the chaos of nature that terrorizes the need for order in men. Right, that makes sense. I really hate how they're milking Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with the recent Wonka film. Wait, Amazon made the new Willy Wonka film with Paul from Dune in it? His name's like Timothy Chalamet or something, but me and my family just called him Timothy Chompy the other day. Yeah, Timothy Chompy. He's going to a sand planet called Arcus in a story called Dune. He goes to hang out with Zendaya and go but smuggling us. They go look for resources called the coloured sand stuff. And no, you don't confuse the sand stuff and don't confuse it with cocaine. Anyway, more Goth and Ungoliath, blunt examples. Okay, that makes sense. Can you do your again? You want me to do it again? Okay, fine. I'll do the Kiara Knightley voice impression. Okay. Okay. Oh, the heat! Every word you've said to me, every word is a lie. Every word of it, love. Great channel growth, by the way. Do you want to ask them to join our Discord? Oh yeah, Double A. Brooks has just given me the option to invite you onto our Discord server. So I'm just gonna. Great channel growth, by the way. Thank you so much. On the road to 900 subs. 1K will be epic eventually. Oh yeah, that'll be epic. Although Malek has got there way before I have. You know what I watched last night for the first time? Love Actually. That's another Christmas film I have yet to see. Love Actually. That's also got Bill Nye in it. I helped. Oh, okay. You did? How did you do that? You actually managed to get Double A on there? Oh no, I must be taking that out of context. Sorry. With the subs. Oh, with the subs. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess it helps that I've been branching out to other people, not just with Squidbear, not just with Malika, but also with the people from the Evan Prince server who I've also befriended and I've made several videos with here also. Love Actually is probably Malika's favorite film. Oh, really? Malika, can you attest to this? I don't recall. I don't remember. I've never even. He just supposed. Double A is quite the clown, in case you couldn't tell. Right, I'll see if I can invite Double A. Come on, invite. Come on, do the thing. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's right, you. Yes, Mike Wazowski. And if it's a rom-com, I'm probably That film also has Davy Jones and Elizabeth Swann in the film.
Tell me, Miss Swan, do you fear chocolate allergies? Do you feel that allergic reaction to the flowers I sent you? I can offer you an escape. Don't listen to him. And to complete the circle, I need to stream and have you guys in my chat. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Such a beauty's Kiara. I'm out. See you, Calum. See you, Space Cowboy. Double A, Malika, do yourself a favor. Join Squid Bear's Discord server. And please check out Squid Bear's channel. Squid Bear, a.k.a. I watched The Notebook with my mom and sister, and I hated the movie. Like, am I really supposed to root for a cheating couple just because they go all together? Rom-coms can get sentimental, shall we say. No, I could just keep this going all night. I mean, it's Christmas now. I've got no rush. I've got no rush to do things in the morning. And clearly, you people have no rush to do things in the morning either. Man, more people are coming in. Rom-coms are my new favorite genre. Oh no. We're about to have a clash. Who is the superior? There's only one way to find out. Fight! Fight. Come on, do it. Come on. Fight about rom-coms for entertainment. I've got Jack to do tomorrow. Rom-coms are literally the only genre I hate. Come on, defend yourself, Double A. Put up a fight. Come on. Do it. He's probably like timing in the comment out of peer pressure from me. And literature. Oh, it's on. Literature. Oh, your faces suck. Epic burn. Oh man, it's so good to have you guys on here. Man, this is the night. This is what I've been waiting for. Oh my days. Oh my days. Fun fact. I've learned that Act 17 allows for fair use. There you go. But yeah, guys, let's talk movies. I was talking about 2024 films. The Gladiator 2, Gladiator's getting a sequel. Malika's talked about Gladiator in the past. Do you guys believe MCU is dying? Yes, if not dead already. Yes. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I think the only rom-com I've ever enjoyed is The Proposal. I'll note that on the watch list. Hopefully, maybe that's on BBC iPlayer or something. Anyway, the MCU, yeah, it's pretty much dead. As far as I'm aware, the MCU has ended with Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Fun fact. I found out that Australia... What? Why would they make a sequel to The Gladiator? Don't know. More money, I guess. Hopefully they have a story to tell, but more money, I guess. The MCU ended with Guardians of the Galaxy. Fun fact. I've heard that Australia is ending the DVDs for Disney and ending it with Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So given the controversy of streaming services, I'd say that's appropriate. For me, the MCU ended with Iron Man 3. Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting. A lot of people say it ended with Endgame and then No Way Home because that's what it was all building up to. You actually like Iron Man 3 that much? Huh. I mean, I like Iron Man 3 as well. I mean, it has its flaws. But a lot of people were not very fond of Iron Man 3 when it came out because it had a lot of flaws. So I'd be interested to see your defense of Iron Man 3. The MCU just isn't the same. Exactly, yeah. But I've enjoyed the Spider-Verse movies. And, Spider-Verse movies are fantastic. I mean, I mean, the Spider-Man films are flawed as well. I mean, they've got some troublesome elements to them, but I mean, they've got some amazing visuals, some character development that actually makes sense. Legit character growth, some very fascinating concepts, like the whole concept of like canon events, the playing of visuals, the idea of trying to look out for other villains, showing compassion on other villains, the way that characters cross over with each other. It's really creative stuff. I want to see more superhero films. I was mentioning Kung Fu Panda 4. I'm looking forward to that. Ridley Scott will be making Gladiator 2. Oh, would you look at that? Denzel Washington is in Gladiator 2, and Denzel Washington is awesome. Even though Denzel Washington's probably got himself mixed up with like a race swapped film of some kind. Oh, they're making a biography on Bob Marley. The Fall Guy, not to be confused with the Fall Guy video game that I really like to play. I really need to organize another party on that sometime. Madam Web, the Ark, and the Aardvark. The Aardvark, named Gilbert, lands the job of shepherding all the animals onto Noah's Ark. Okay, hopefully that's actually good. If. Yeah, it's not called If. Okay, Beyond the Spider-Verse is apparently coming out in 2024. Speaking of Spider-Man. Let's see. Oh yeah! Sonic the Hedgehog 3! Yes! It's going to adapt Sonic Adventure 2, and it's my favorite Sonic game! Oh my days. Oh dear. The live-action adaptation of Hunchback. Okay, I'm going to give you the source of what I'm looking at. I'm not a fan of Gen Z superheroes. Millennials are what I like. Gen Z is pretty cringy. I'm really looking forward to Tarantino's 10th and final film coming out. Oh gosh, 10th and final film. What film would that be? This is the resource I'm using to check out the films, by the way, just so you through curiosity. Untitled Venom sequel, Knives Out 3. Okay, that should be interesting. Oh, they're making a sequel to Beetlejuice, making a sequel to Cruella. The first Cruella film was so stupid, the way the Dalmatians take out somebody. Sword in the Stone. Oh, they're making okay. Mufasa, the Lion King. You saw that coming. Maleficent. They're making another Maleficent movie. Oh, come on. Stepdude, Juliet, a romantic drama in which a young woman learns that she may be related to the people who inspired one of the most tragic love stories of all time. Okay, Fast and Loose, Council. Oh, hello, Nosferatu. Oh, directed by Robert Edgar. Ooh. I have yet to see Nosferatu. I've heard that's a very classic vampire film. I've yet to watch it. And now there's a modern remake with the director of The Lighthouse and The Northman. I'd say it's a good pick of director, given his style of sort of kind of a vintage style film. I mean, I kind of have mixed feelings on Robert Edgar's film. I mean, I really enjoyed like the atmosphere of The Lighthouse, but there was a lot of disgusting subject matter that kind of turned me off from that film. Oh, they're making Rush Hour 4. All right. We'll see how that goes, given how it was made years after the trilogy concluded. BioShock. Oh, now this is going to be interesting. BioShock is one of the peak video game stories ever made, criticizing like man-made politics as well as what it means to really play God. An animated adaptation of the Cat in the Hat. All right. Pokemon Detective Pikachu sequel. Movie Deadshot. Okay. DC. Okay. Muscle. Okay. Bad Boys for the Angel Face. Okay. Oh yeah. But The Lord of the Rings: The War of the Rohirrim, an anime adaptation of Helm's Deep. Oh, that's gonna be awesome. I'm excited for Rush Hour 4. Sleep on Christmas. Yeah, true. Even more reason to sleep. More like 2 in the morning, just checking till Sleep on Christmas. No way. Reading them out of order. I think all of us are looking forward to Lord of the Rings: War of the Rohirrim. Safe to say, an anime Lord of the Rings. I'm sold. Absolutely sold. First the anime, then Halo, and now they're doing this. Well, they did Star Wars as well. Let's see. Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. The British military recruits a small group of highly skilled soldiers to strike against Nazi forces behind enemy lines during World War II. Directed by Guy Ritchie. I've heard of that guy. Oh, it's got Henry Cavill in it. Okay, hopefully he does better than he does in The Witcher. He deserves so much more, man. Berserker. Not to be confused with Berserk, featuring Keanu Reeves. Ooh, okay. The Beekeeper. Okay. Sesame Street. Okay. Aussie, Voice of the Forest, Love, okay, Untitled Formula One racing game. I quite liked Gran Turismo this year. I'm not gonna lie. Oh no, the live action on Stitch. Let's see. Twisters. Oh, they're pulling in aliens on us with Twister, huh? Okay, I see what you're doing there. Voyager, the cosmic love story between Carl Sagan and his wife Andrewian. Okay, beautiful. Chronicles the life and career of celebrated singer-songwriter Carole King. Okay, Eden. Personally good. Galacticos. Borderlands movie. Craven the Hunters. Breeds. Challengers. Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire. Okay. Snake Players. June Part 2. Looking forward to that. Hit Pig. A bounty hunter pig finds himself trekking the globe with a free-spirited elephant he intended to capture. Okay. I have yet to see 12 Angry Men myself. So would you say less people are going to the cinema? It's been 2 months for me. Well, I mean, a lot of people have been going to see Godzilla -1, which I saw recently, and it was an awesome movie. The ending was kind of mixed, but it's such a great story about human drama you actually care about in a Godzilla film. And The Boy and the Heron is expecting well, but you expect nothing less from Hayao Miyazaki. My top 10 favorite films of all time. You're saying 12 Angry Men is part of your top 10 favorite films of all time. Oh, okay. You're giving out your top 10 favorite films. All right, list them. I made a video a while back about my top favorite films of all time. I'm probably going to have to update that list because at some point, because I want to add Puss in Boots: The Last Wish on there. Maybe give an honorable mention to Top Gun Maverick. Keep mentioning your top favorite movies, by all means. I'd be curious to see if Malika is willing to anime Lord of the Rings. I'm kind of sold. Who's making it? Oh, I didn't get to answer Malika's question. Who's making it? Okay, who is making that movie? Let's see. The director of the Lord of the Rings anime is Kenji Kamiyama. What was he responsible for? Kenji Kamiyama, writer and director known for Napping Princess 2017, Eden of the East 2009, and Akira in 1988. Oh, all right. Okay, more specifically, he was the writer of Napping Princess, the writer of Eden of the East, a show, 009 Cyborg, a writer, and he was in the animation department of Studio Fuga for Akira. Let's see, he was head writer of Ghost in the Shell SAC 2045, screenplay for I Know It 2031. He was a writer for Blade Runner, Black Lotus. I said Lotus. A writer for Star Wars Visions, writer for Ghost in the Shell, Civil War. Let's see, Blood Sea. I'm trying to Ghost in the Shell, Solid State Society 3D, screenplay. All right, so he's got some experience. There hasn't been product he's made that was terrible, apparently, although some of his work has been mid-tier. Although, well, I mean, he's an anime director and he's got experience with crossover stuff. So I guess we'll wait and see. Okay, I'm sold on the anime Lord of the Rings. Okay, Double A's top 10 favorite films: Groundhog Day, Spider-Man 2, Shaun of the Dead, Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you kind of have to have the entire trilogy extended edition as the one film because it all tells the one story. The 12 Angry Men, Pulp Fiction, Gosford Park. I don't think I've ever heard of that film. Gosh, they're the films you learn about from other people. Let's see. Other films coming out lately. Land of Bad. Okay, where was I? Let's just say Spaceman, Doom Part 2, Ordinary Angels. Incredible true story of hairdresser who single-handedly rallies entire community to help a widowed father save the life of critically ill daughter. Okay. Arthur the King. Adventure racer adopts a stray dog called Arthur. Join him in an epic endurance race. Red One. Dwayne and Chris Evans. Okay. J.K. Simmons. Untitled Alien prequel. Oh no. Not another one. Oh yeah, Poor Things. That seems like an interesting, trippy film. With Emma Stone in it. Let's see. Well, Kung Fury 2. Okay. Those seem to be the vast majority of the films. Also, favorite films. Not sure I have an official top 10, but just a bunch I would be happy to watch over and over again. Like the Lord of the Rings Extended Edition trilogy. Yeah. I mean, maybe like a top 5 if you can, Malika. I suppose whilst we're on the topic, since we're all together, I might as well talk about my top favorite movies of all time. I mean, I've already made a definitive list, but I might as well bring them up again to the top of my memory. I'm into like animated products because God is the inventor of animation, and no matter who bastardizes it, God is the original inventor of pneuma in the Greek term, and since God demands artwork, well, why not make animated art? My top favorite films of all time, to the best of my knowledge, I'm into like creative epics. That's the kind of stuff I'm into. So just to give you a taste, my top 10s are like also like the extended edition of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, Prince of Egypt, Ben-Hur and Lawrence of Arabia I put in there, Amelie and Forrest Gump I would put in the same category. And I'm honestly considering putting Puss in Boots: The Last Wish up there. Ratatouille. Oh yeah, Ratatouille. Oh, Ratatouille is such a great film. That I tell you, Ratatouille. Oh, I need to finish your book. Oh, you like Green Books, American Psycho, and Whiplash. I have yet to see Whiplash and Chicken Run. Chicken Run's had a sequel. Oh gosh, there's so many good films. So many to talk about at once. Ratatouille. Ratatouille has one of the best speeches ever made, given by Peter O'Toole himself. Like that speech Peter O'Toole makes in Ratatouille. I like it. It was great back then, but the older you get, the more familiar you get with art in general, the more you deeply appreciate what the character of Anton Ego is talking about. Like what he says doesn't just apply to fine dining. It could also apply to any kind of art form, like pottery or filmmaking or animation or anything like that. Like especially when you're in the perspective of someone who does like critics, like, from the perspective of like critics, that's kind of what we do. So it's really a fascinating speech. The Chicken Run's recently had a sequel. I have yet to see the sequel. Also, Malika was mentioning Blue-Eyed Samurai earlier. I've yet to see that. Okay, but that would go into the category of best TV shows. Anyone keen to talk about their favorite TV shows next? Okay, so Malika's got hers up. Oh yeah, I also like Braveheart. Oh yeah, an English woman actually likes a Scottish film. So Malika's top favorites are Gladiator, Kingdom of Heaven, both by Ridley Scott, Lord of the Rings Extended, of course. Thank you. Men of Honor, I have yet to see that film. Professor and the Madman, I've yet to see that one. Rush Hour 1 and 2. Oh, not Rush Hour 3. To be fair, I've yet to see Rush Hour 3, but my friend Smudge has showed me the funniest scene in Rush Hour 3 where the guy says, "He is me and I am you." No, who are you? No, I am you. He is me and I am you. Who? Him? Prince of Egypt. Ah, he loves Prince of Egypt as well. That movie is amazing. The Passion for Christ. Oh, profound stuff. Outlaw King and Braveheart. Ah, yeah, both of them are based on Scottish, legendary Scottish historical figures. Malika, You're an Englishwoman. How come you have such fascination with Scottish history? Does it have something to do with me? No, she's probably going to say, no, they're just really good films. She's probably going to type up. I know her. Look, my people. Yeah, they fought the English too. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Anyways. Oh, amen. Double A is quoting. He's saying it. He's saying the Anton Ego quote. Oh, it's beautiful. I might as well do my best Peter O'Toole impression because that speech is just amazing. Holy Trinity willing. In many ways, the work of a critic is easy. We risk very little, yet enjoy a position over those who offer up their work and themselves to our judgment. I mean, that alone is just like, it's just that kind of brutal honesty he gives right off the bat. And then Anton Ego goes on to elaborate on how he then eventually admits that there eventually comes a point when no matter how high your standards are for fine art, sometimes the bare minimum has more worth than something of apparent high class. Can you search up the whole speech and recite it? Oh, yeah. Okay, let's see if I can find it. Anton Ego speech. Analysis. Gosh, I just look it up, and there's literally this subcategory that says adult speech analysis. This is worthy of analysis. Oh my days. Quotes. You want to know something inspirational? I've been having intrusive thoughts about copyright stuff, but I found out that Act 17 actually permits fair use when you actually think about it. Anyway, I found a quotes website. Let's see if... yeah, here we go. I'll rate this quote 5 out of 5 stars. Okay, here we go. Going from where we left off. We thrive on negative criticism, which is fun to write and to read. Did not pronounce that properly. Which is fun to write and to read. But the bitter truth we critics must face is that, in the grand scheme of things, the average piece of junk is probably more meaningful than our criticism designating it so. But there are times when a critic truly risks something, and that is in the discovery and defense of the new. The world is often unkind to new talent, new creations. The new needs friends. Last night I experienced something new. No, wait, that's not how you pronounced it. Last night I experienced something new. An extraordinary meal from a singularly unexpected source. To say that both the meal and its maker have challenged my preconceptions about fine cooking... That's not how you pronounce it. Have challenged my preconceptions about fine cooking is a gross understatement. They rocked me to my core. In the past, I have made no secret of my disdain for Chef Cousteau's famous motto, anyone can cook. But I realize only now do I truly understand what he meant. Not everyone can become a great artist, but a great artist can come from anywhere. It is difficult to imagine more humble origins than those of the genius now working at Cousteau's, who is, in this critic's opinion, nothing less than the finest chef in France. I will be returning to Cousteau soon, hungry for more. Boom. Best speech ever. We got to do Rush Hour watch along on the Discord. Are you on the Discord server too? Let's see. Hold on a minute. Someone wants to call me. Almost. I better wrap up soon. A friend wants to talk to me. So, all right, blimey, Rush Hour 2 is in your top 10 films of all time. I'm intrigued to know why. My top 10 consists of movies I'd happily watch over and over again. Rush Hour 1 and 2 are pointless fun. That's always gives me a laugh. White Chicks, which should probably be out there too. I've yet to watch White Chicks. We got to do a Russia watch on Discord. Reckon you could read. Double A. Again? Again? I can't. I gotta do it. I gotta ruin the speech. I gotta. You have to get. I can't. Okay. I have to do it. The mouth. Stop! Stop! No. Why don't you just do it yourself if you're so good? I can't. You seriously want me to do it? Okay. I guess I'll try. Okay. Oh, there's literally tears. Oh, my eyes are tearing up. All right, okay. I can't. Oh my. This might be what. What are you doing? Okay. I can't. Do you want me to do this? Oh my god, I have to talk to someone. My friend. Okay. The bottom jaw. Okay, I gotta do a practice. Okay. Okay. So how does she do it? Like, work and create is easy. Right. Okay. So moving the. Okay, she has to the bottom teeth in sort of sexy kind of fashion. Right. Okay. Right. People are just gonna look back at me just hysterically losing it. Right. Okay. Okay, Lord willing. Okay, intrusive thought, get out of the way. Okay. In many ways, no, I sound like Queen Elizabeth. In many ways, the work of a critic is easy. We risk very little, yet enjoy a position over those who offer up their work and their selves of judgment. I sound like the Meep from Doctor Who. We thrive on negative criticism, which is fun to write. I sound like Keira Knightley if she was like going through puberty backwards or something. And to read. Oh, okay, that's better. Here we go.
But the bitter truth we critics must face is that in the grand scheme of things, the average piece of junk is probably more meaningful. I sound like Queen Elizabeth II than our criticism designating it so. But there are times when a critic truly risks something, and that is in the discovery and defense of the new. The world is often unkind to new talent. There's someone out there who could do this far better than I ever could. New creations. New I can't. The great speech. Okay, where was I? Okay. Right. The new needs friends. Last night I experienced. Last night I experienced something new, an extraordinary meal from a singularly unexpected source. Why is the rum gone? To say that both the meal and its maker have challenged my preconceptions about fine cooking is a gross understatement. It's just rum, darling. Welcome to the Caribbean, love. They have rocked me to my core. In the past, that's how the English pronounce it. In the past, I have made no unless she's come from a different place in England. In the past, I have made no secret of my disdain for Chef Cousteau's famous motto, anyone can cook. But I realize only now do I truly understand what he meant. No, I still sound like Queen Elizabeth II. Not everyone can become a great artist, but a great artist can come from anywhere. It is difficult to imagine more humble origins than those of the genius now cooking at Cousteau's, who is, in this actress's opinion, nothing less than the finest chef in France. I will be returning to Cousteau's soon, hungry for more.
Ta-da! Yes! Sounds like Diana.
Oh, the heat!
I gotta wrap up pretty soon, but Dave, I almost lost it. Just trying to do it. Anyway, I'm gonna have to wrap up very soon. I've got a friend wanting to talk to me, but yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah. Someone's gonna record the live stream highlights. Calum, can you do a Hugh Grant impression?
What? Do you have a name, pirate captain? They call me the pirate captain.
Yeah, I can do a Hugh Grant impression.
I should let you know I am of a good size for an Oompa Loompa.
Good night, everybody. So as we end off, I just wanted to end off by talking about what I've been through and how that can inspire all of you possibly watching this. If you even bother rewatching this, that is. It's that it's so easy to get caught up with different things in life. Especially given this day and age with the woke, it's a lot of people become disillusioned, and in the midst of the disillusionment, it can be very easy to give into this unintended pressure of trying to be better than the competition, as it were. In case I don't see a good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Yeah, indeed. It can be easy to do that sort of thing. So in your rebellion against people who completely ignore certain rules of life, you eventually obsess over trying to get it all just right. But in the pursuit of getting things just right, you end up adding in more burdens to yourself. What's the cure? Compassion. It's humbling to know the necessary harmony between, as Jordan Peterson would say, order and chaos. And you got to be humble enough to admit you're never going to get it all right, especially not right away. There's going to be slip-ups. And looking back now, I've probably failed as a friend in the past. And it's a mistake to make, to subconsciously close yourself off from other people because you don't want to feel the pain. But opening up to other people like yourself makes the world a brighter place. And finding the hope in people who also seek timeless virtue and just the hope it can bring, as well as the camaraderie clearly seen, it really makes life better. So this Christmas is going to be so much better just because learning to value compassion and things in context helps you get in the Christmas mood, as it were. I even have Christmas jumper, which I was going to put on, but it didn't bother for a reason. Instead, I have this Aperture Science t-shirt, which is meant to be symbolic of one of my favorite video games, the Portal series. Malika, I would love to see you play the Portal series. You can download the first game on pretty much any running PC these days. Anyway, whoever is watching this, I implore you, you have to embrace compassion. Thoughts on the GTA 6 trailer? I never really cared that much about GTA. I've watched YouTubers play it, and I've heard there's some drama and controversy surrounding that, mainly surrounding the fact that they represent actual women, and that's driving the woke crazy. So I'm just going to wrap it up by saying, open yourself up to compassion. Like, it can seem scary to open up about your faults, but healing actually comes from acknowledging that you don't always have it all together, and that can be okay because you're in a process. You see, if you're building up pressure on yourself, you could end up having these intrusive thoughts in which you end up following these rules that were not meant to be made up. But if you open yourself up to others, and you'll be more likely to, especially if they hold you accountable, they'll be more likely to help you confront yourself. And we're in a generation where, regardless of whose side you're on, people seem very scared of confronting themselves, because at the end of the day, we're all beings who are seeking love. All of us. I mean, love can come in many forms. I mean, C.S. Lewis wrote about different forms of love. But at the end of the day, we're still seeking love. And it's sad that we're living in a generation where people are scared of the very thing that they are seeking. We need intimacy. We need that kind of thing. It's vital for life. We can't run away from it. So, please, spend time with your loved ones. Embrace compassion. And always remember, aspire for divine attributes. And thank you to every single one of you for supporting the channel and for expanding the kingdom, as it were. Much appreciated. I need to let you all sleep now. So, good night, everyone. Feel free to comment down below for anything. Love is the answer. You learn that with age. Yeah, thanks for that beautiful message. You're welcome, Mel. I've learned so much from you and so many other people. I just thought I had to get that out there live, get the sincerity out. There's probably going to be that one jerk of a commenter who's going, "Hey, you're faking it just for views." Look, I've been through hard stuff for the past several years. The past 5 years have transformed my life in a profound way that there's no going back. There's no going back. I mean, I've been disillusioned, I've been enlightened, I've been informed, and then had my heart broken, and then closed myself off, and then just this past year, I've just had to detox myself from legalistic thinking. God bless you all and good night. Yeah, God bless all of you too. God bless every single one of you. I hope I've inspired you all and anyone who could be watching this. I hope I can continue to be an inspiration. Thank you. Thank you. God be with you all. Holy Trinity be with you all.